Now at 9, a second assassination attempt was made on Trump yesterday. Find out who was convicted and what he was charged with.
A natural disaster occurred in Europe. Find out how this has affected numerous countries.
A bridge fire in California is now 3% contained. How this affects locals.
In this past weekend, the annual White River cleanup took place, and we have the details.
And these warm and dry conditions are going to continue. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Sophie Schick.
And I'm Wyatt Mayer.
The suspect in what appears to be an attempted assassination on former President Donald Trump made his first appearance in federal court in West Palm Beach, Florida today. 58-year-old Ryan Routh has been charged with 2 gun-related counts. The incident happened at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach on Sunday. According to the criminal complaint, Routh may have been waiting at the golf course for nearly 12 hours. A Secret Service agent reportedly spotted a rifle sticking out of a fence along the golf club perimeter just a few yards away from Trump. The agents fired at the suspect, but he was able to flee the scene. Routh was later taken into custody after he was stopped on the highway. The former president was not hurt.
San Francisco is taking steps it hopes will improve public safety in the city. The mayor and police chief announced Monday it will use mobile cameras to provide round-the-clock surveillance in some parts of the city.
The police chief says these new tools will help officers make arrests and prevent crime.
And we have made arrests on some really bad and dangerous people in a fashion that we would not have been able to do it in prior to this technology being implemented.
The first 3 cameras arrived in San Francisco last week. Crime in the city is down 32% so far this year.
Residents of Wrightwood, California are being told to not use their tap water because of a massive wildfire. As of Friday afternoon, the bridge fire was only 3% contained. It's currently the largest active fire in the state, burning more than 52,000 acres across Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties. The tap water restrictions include bathing or cooking because officials say the water may be contaminated and harmful. In addition to water restrictions, Wrightwood is under an evacuation order.
At least 10 people have been killed in some of the worst floods to hit Central Europe in decades. Storm Boris has swept through the region, dumping well over a month's worth of rain. The Polish government is posed to declare a state of disaster today. 8 people were killed over the weekend and 2 more died from flooding in Austria today. Although some areas have now begun to see the water recede, the storm leaves a wave of destruction and uncertainty in its wake.
Several beaches along the East Coast have banned swimming after officials discovered medical waste washing ashore. This includes syringes and pill bottles. Most closures were announced on Sunday and some on Monday for beaches in Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia. How this waste ended up in the water and now on the beaches is still raising more questions than answers.
This weekend was the annual White River cleanup. NewsLink Indiana's Abby Urban went downstream to learn more.
For the last 17 years, locals from all over Delaware County have come together to beautify the White River. Over 30% of Indiana's population live within the upper White River watershed alone. Although the main purpose of the event is to clean the river, one crew leader says it's all in memory of the one who made the first ripple.
It says in loving memory of the water protector, Tony Cecil. She was my colleague that helped start the White River cleanup many years ago, and she passed away. So we just always honor her and remember her during this time because she was such a fierce leader and an advocate for the river and the planet.
Over 200 volunteers joined the White River cleanup to help remove debris and other objects from the water and surrounding parks. The White River cleanup offers routes both on the land and in the water. Volunteers are not only encouraged to walk the shore, but are even urged to go into the water itself. Locals from all over Delaware County are called to the shore for many different reasons. For one student volunteer, it's really all about impact.
It's just such a great opportunity to do something that I can actually see the benefit of what I'm doing. There's a lot of community service opportunities, but nothing where you can really directly impact something as important as this.
Despite recent drought and low tide, volunteers covered over 15 miles, leaving no stone unturned. In Muncie, Abby Urban, NewsLink, Indiana.
To get involved in future White River cleanup events, you can go to beautifulmuncie.org.
Now, I was actually at the White River cleanup, and the weather there was beautiful, so personally, I hope that continues.
I am also hoping that the weather continues being great. So let's go to Jay to see what the weather's like.
Thank you. And yeah, if you are a fan of hot and dry weather we've been seeing, then this is for you. Taking a look at our current conditions, 79 right now in Indianapolis, 70 in Muncie. It's going to continue to cool down throughout the night, and that's what this next 12 hours will show you. Actually, all the way down to the mid-50s. We're seeing even 54, 55 by over into the morning. And then for the what we're looking at is the drought conditions are continuing, and they're going to keep going for a long time. The warm weather is going to keep on going for a long time, and then the low humidity is one more that we are going to be taking a look at.
Coming up, a look into the Old Washington Street Festival. See how Muncie culture is coming to life.
And Volkswagen is recalling over 100,000 vehicles. Learn what that problem at hand is. All this and more after the break.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, love you always.
Everything I do
when you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
Welcome back. Muncie's historic Victorian neighborhood was showcased at the Old Washington Street Festival Saturday. NewsLink Indiana's Aidan Murray has the story.
Here in Muncie, on Washington Street, with the Old Victorian Street Festival, you can find the culture of Muncie in full swing, celebrating its Victorian-era homes.
So our hope, because this first started out to make people get to know these houses and the history of this area and kind of revitalize it, and now we've kind of done that. We're continuing to do that, but we really celebrate the artists that are here locally, with the musicians. They're all local and regional, so we can celebrate them.
Homes like this one, owned by Tom Collins, are the heart of the festival.
Well, the festival was started. This is the 47th annual Old Washington Street Festival, and the festival, one of the reasons it was started was to get people who ordinarily wouldn't come down to downtown Muncie to come back down to the inner city core and to see some of the oldest houses in the city. So it was actually a way of trying to get people to see the restoration work that homeowners were doing in the neighborhood and to get them excited about that.
Now revitalized, the old neighborhood garners more attention, sprucing up the streets one home at a time.
I think the old homes in Muncie are some of the most unique homes that we have. They're also, because of their age, they often need a lot more care and restoration work than other homes. And so I think that if we can raise awareness of the importance of preserving what we have, then I think we can get people excited about moving down to places like downtown Muncie, maybe buying one of these old houses, and helping to get involved in that kind of restoration work.
More information is available at oldwashingtonstreetfestival.org. For NewsLink Indiana, Aiden Murray.
If you're looking to get involved, Muncie's next Street Fest is Fire Up Downtown on Saturday, September 21st.
McDonald's $5 value meal is sticking around until December. Customers are loving McDonald's $5 meal so much that the fast food giant is keeping it on the menu until December. The $5 meal deal launched in June as a one-month gimmick, but it quickly turned into a much longer promotion. The meal features either a McChicken sandwich or McDouble cheeseburger, small fries, 4-piece chicken McNuggets, and a small drink. McDonald's has seen a dent in sales as inflation-weary customers hold tighter to their money.
Amazon is now shifting back to a 5-day work week. Amazon is demanding its corporate employees return to the office 5 days a week. It's a significant change from its current pandemic-era hybrid policy, requiring them to be in the office just 3 days a week. CEO Andy Jassy made the announcement about the new policy Monday. He said the change will help its thousands of employees invent, collaborate, and be connected to each other and their culture. The new policy goes into effect on January 2nd.
Genetic testing company 23andMe has agreed to pay $30 million to people impacted by a data breach last year. The settlement comes after a class action lawsuit was brought against the company in October. Threat actors used about 14,000 accounts to access the ancestry data of 6.9 million connected profiles. The suit claimed 23andMe didn't do enough to protect user data and also didn't notify customers impacted in a timely way. As part of the agreement, 23andMe admitted to no wrongdoing. The deal is awaiting final approval from a judge.
Boeing workers at its Washington facilities are still on the picket line as negotiators began contract talks again this week. The strike started on Friday, so it's too early to predict the full financial impact. If it is resolved in about a week, it will barely be a blip on the company's bottom line. But if it stretches on for weeks like 2008's 8-week-long strike, the hit could be substantial. The 2008 strike cost Boeing $1.2 billion. The embattled aircraft maker has lost $33 billion since 2019 due to various issues including canceled orders and manufacturing issues.
Volkswagen is recalling nearly 100,000 ID4 electric crossover SUVs for model years 2021 to 2024. That's because the door handles may allow water to get into the circuit board, which could cause the doors to open unexpectedly. Volkswagen dealers will inspect and replace the door handles and update the vehicle software for free.
Just how long is this hot and dry conditions going to last? I'll have all that and more coming up on my full forecast.
As a dad, every day is a challenge. To make sure that the time that I have, I spend with them. It doesn't matter how tired you are, you have to try and to teach them. When they learn something new and you can just see in their faces, it's such an incredible moment. It's those moments that are my favorite.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
When tornadoes touched down in parts of our viewing area, NewsLink Indiana kept you informed days in advance.
You do need to be seeking shelter.
Marginal risk of severe weather.
And days after.
The roof has been ripped completely off of this house.
Giving you a first-hand look at the communities affected.
When your neighbors lose their house and you don't, how lucky you are.
The first to alert you of severe weather before it happens. NewsLink Indiana Weather.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember you threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone, that's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that?
Mm-hmm. If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Life-threatening flooding struck parts of coastal North Carolina today. A storm system that could become Tropical Storm Helene is relentlessly pounding the area with extreme rainfall and gusty winds. Double-digit rainfall totals were reported in parts of coastal North Carolina from the system, including in Carolina beaches. Rainfall totals there are reported to be more than a foot in the beach town. Roads were under 3 feet of water from flash flooding the National Weather Service described as life-threatening.
Thank you, guys. And yeah, it's going to be hot, and it's going to stay hot. Looking at current temperatures, 79 degrees in Indianapolis right now, down to 70 in Muncie, and these temperatures are actually going to continue to wind down throughout the night. Today's almanac, we actually reached 90 degrees as our high, and if you look at the bottom right corner here, 92 was our record high in 1991, so we were right there, just a couple degrees shy. Our average high, 79, we're well above that, and we're going to continue to stay well above that as we go on for the next while here. Tonight is actually going to be cooled down to around 55, 54 degrees, which is going to be a very nice, calm night compared to what we are going to be seeing coming up with lows in the 60s. Tonight, 55 low. It's going to be calm out there, as I mentioned, with just a 5-mile wind out of the east, and it's going to be clear. Perfect night for some stargazing, or anything else that you might like to do. Looking at tomorrow, you wake up 55 degrees, 8 a.m. By noon, already 81 when you're on lunch break. It's going to be hot. And then 84 by 5 p.m. That's when it really starts to take off and get hot. And then it's just going to stay hot throughout the overnight. Drought monitor comes with that heat. We're going to be dry. It's at moderate right now. We could see that go up to severe depending on how long this hot and dry spell lasts. So that is something we are going to have to be paying close attention to. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, as I mentioned, it's going to be hot, very hot, especially as you get north into the state, into Michigan, well above average, below average out west, but that's not even near us. It's just going to stay hot. And it's going to stay dry. Precision Cast has rain not quite reaching our area. It's just teasing us like it has been. Our first real shot is going to be Sunday into Monday when we get maybe even a bit more than just a sprinkle. We could actually have a little bit of a system moving, bringing us some rain throughout most of the state actually by Monday morning. That 7-day forecast though, we have to get through all of this. It's going to be hot, 84, 85, and then look at this by the weekend, the 90s return again, and these lows into the mid to high 60s. It is going to get hot. Next week, Monday, starting off your work week, it's going to stay hot. I don't know about you guys, but I am just done with this heat. It is too much for me.
You and me both. You know, I'm tired of the grass on my front lawn dying. I want it to be green again. I just want some rain.
It's crunchy grass too, and
it's the worst.
We have the pool out.
This heat is certainly driving me crazy. I cannot wait for the cooler weather to come back, all the nice winds and the fall.
I need a nice October.
Yeah, making the leaves die and everything. Like fall is coming, but the temperature just isn't there, and I'm over it. I'm so sick of it.
Me too. I am also personally over this ridiculous weather.
You and me both. Well, thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you.
And there is lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Steven has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Sophie and Wyatt. One Ball State team stays in the nest as another migrates down south. All this and more next in sports.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I gain clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere, and just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed. But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh.
My lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Stephen Grotto with sports. Ball State men's tennis competed in the 40th annual Ball State Invitational over the weekend, the first of 2 invites for the team this month. The Cardinals hosted Butler, IU Indy, and Xavier over the span of 3 days, winning 20 total matches as a team. The highlight of the weekend came on Saturday against Dayton, when the Cards won 5 of their 6 singles matches and 2 of their 3 doubles matches against the Flyers. The men stayed hot on Sunday morning, winning 3 of 4 doubles matches over IU Indy. Head coach Bill Richards is looking to lead the Cardinals to their 3rd straight winning season and build off their 12-10 record from the spring. Ball State will be in action when they host the 2-day Cardinal Invitational beginning on the 28th. To move things down South Beach, Ball State football traveled to Miami over the weekend to take on the 10th-ranked University of Miami Hurricanes. The Cardinals would hold the Hurricanes to only 10 points in the first quarter before the floodgates opened for the Miami defense. The Canes would score 21 unanswered in the second quarter to lead into the locker room at 31-0 at half. The defense would finish the job for the Canes in the second half, completing the shutout as the Cardinals fell 62-0, moving up Miami to number 8 in the AP poll. Ball State will switch their focus when they begin MACtion this weekend against Central Michigan on the road. To keep it on the gridiron, Yorktown football looks for its biggest win of the season. NewsLink's Jackson White heads over to Tiger Field for more.
Yorktown took on the undefeated Delta Eagles this past Friday night, and it did not disappoint. The Tigers entered this game 2-1, coming off a tough loss versus New Palestine, 41-13, but that did not stop them from coming out fired up and commanding an early 14-0 lead.
We challenged their manhood this week, and it's not like we yelled and screamed about the New Pal game. It was more of, if you're going to talk it, you better walk it.
And Yorktown did just that. Their defense played great against the run while also getting an interception and taking it back for a score. Delta did start to figure things out in the fourth quarter, but it was too late and the Tigers took home the home victory 28-14.
Tonight we acted like we wanted to play real young man football, almost like adult football with some of the things our guys did. I'm really proud of them. You got to learn from your losses. I think we learned from that loss and came back probably better than I expected.
Delta entered this game as the favorite, but the Tigers showed us tonight who the best team in the county truly is.
So it's just a great atmosphere for both teams to be a part of, for the fans to be a part of. Yeah, this is a Yorktown football win, but it's really a Yorktown win.
Yorktown now moves on to Newcastle as the Tigers look to add to their win column this Friday. In Yorktown, Jackson White, NewsLink, Indiana.
I mean, great job for Yorktown. What an upset. But I mean, I wish Ball State could have pulled off the upset.
Absolutely. We had 3 really big games over the weekend. We had Miami with their win, obviously, Tennessee, and Notre Dame. So I was watching all of those, and it was a crazy thing to see.
Yeah, the Miami win was definitely disappointing for Ball State fans. However, I believe that Yorktown win definitely makes it up for the Muncie locals.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, good job, Yorktown, obviously, but of course, obviously disheartened about Ball State. I think we can pull it back together for our next game, and I'm excited for the next home game. How about you guys?
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm really excited. Hopefully you can bounce back against Central Mich this week. Should be a good matchup, you know, first MAC conference game, so great to start out the MAC that way.
I wholeheartedly agree. You know, this loss just gets me more fired up for the next game, hoping for a win.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Stephen. And after the break, Cameron No has a look at your campus coverage.
And a final look at weather. Stay with us.
attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of the hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. My name is Cameron No, and this is your campus coverage. A new student organization is helping students continue doing what they love. Dive Club was started after students found out they were not allowed to dive off the boards during open swim. Most of these athletes have been diving for years, and others are just starting. Some say they didn't want the pressure of collegiate diving, and they just wanted to feel free while continuing their sport. It's about more than just staying in shape. It's about community.
Every movement means something. Like when you're up in the air, you have so much free time to think about what's going on in your life, and you can just let it all go when you hit the water. And that's why I love it. It's almost like you are a raindrop hitting the water and becoming something new every time you dive.
Student organization has helped to give Ball State students a home away from home.
I don't know about you guys, but I think diving is the coolest thing of all time. Personally, could never do it, but flipping the water and landing like perfectly straight and making no splash, I think it's awesome.
It's definitely very interesting, and I honestly didn't know we had a diving club here at Ball State, so that was definitely very informative for me, and I hope it was very informative for other students as well.
Yeah, I could never dive. You're just like diving straight in. How do you not get water in your nose?
Oh my, I would come up and I'd start coughing.
Yeah,
I would not
too.
stand a chance. Wyatt, do you think you're going to join?
We'll see. I don't think I'm as nimble as most divers are, so.
Well, thank you so much, Cameron. And now we're going to have a final look at our weather.
Thank you, guys. And for those who love diving and swimming weather, this is a 7-day forecast for you. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, we're in the mid to upper 80s for the rest of the week. Tuesday, 84, climbing up to 85 by Wednesday, up to 86 by Thursday, and then a big jump up to 90 for the Friday and Saturday. And take a look at those lows too, especially on Friday and Saturday. 65, 66, some areas could even be seeing upper 60s lows, which even pushing 70, which is a little excessive. And then Sunday 87, Monday 85, but then after that the heat is just going to keep on persisting. And with that comes the dangerous drought conditions. So throughout this 7-day, it's going to be important to watch that drought monitor. For more information, be sure to follow us at NLI Weather on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Thanks, Jay. And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for more news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.